Good morning, all. It's good to see you again on this fine Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day here in southeastern Tennessee. No, I didn't do my usual shtick at the beginning of the show where I'm talking to my producers and directors over here, personal assistants, cracking jokes with them. For two reasons. You're going to get a disclaimer this morning, y'all. You're going to get a disclaimer. Because normally I don't do this. Normally I don't take a stand. Normally I don't take sides on any issues. If I do, I keep it to myself and my family and my very, very close friends. I don't put it on social media. I'm a little tired this morning. Been in Las Vegas for the last 3 or 4 days. So that 3 hour time change is a real, you know what. And I'm sitting here in the middle of the sun where it's hotter than it was in Las Vegas, and it's only 9:20. We got in at like 12:30 last night, but the show must go on. That said, here's a disclaimer. I'm going to say some things today that may offend you. If you are a person who likes to do what other adults tell you to do because they think they know better than you, if you like to obey propaganda, if you believe that you need other people to tell you what to do because you're not intelligent enough to figure it out for yourself, don't watch today's show. Come back next Sunday and I'll see you then. Or come back on Friday and I'll see you then. But today I'm pissed. I'm pissed and I'm sad. I may even cuss. And I don't normally do that with y'all. Usually swearing is saved for my tightest circles. But you guys are pretty in tight with me. You guys made me what I am. So I'm going to try to hold it together. I don't know if I can. So while I was in Las Vegas, I think maybe the first night I was there, maybe the second day I was there. I was out there for a wedding. Great guy, great author, Jan Chaney. And I got a message from Megan that I did not expect to get. And one of our good friends passed away. This guy, I hadn't seen him in 2 years. 2 years. Good friend. One of the most creative, intelligent people I know. Love him. We used to get together every year to watch The Big Lebowski together. Partly because it's one of the greatest cinematic creations of all time. And I haven't seen him in 2 years. because he was terrified of getting out of his house. Or, you know, he would go to work. He was a chemist. But he wouldn't hang out with anybody else other than doing his job. And at his job, you know, he's like in a friggin' hazmat suit, right? And I may cuss today, guys, so sorry, but you might not get censored or any today. But he was so afraid of COVID that we haven't hung out in 2 years. I texted him in February. It was the last time I texted him. Because he wasn't always the best at getting back to me. Or anybody. I mean, he's busy. He's always working. But he was so afraid of a disease that kills less than 1% of the population that I didn't see this good friend in 2 years. Now, I lost friends to COVID. I lost some people to it, people that I cared about. I did. And you know, you can get into the debates about vaccinated, not vaccinated. It's kind of insensitive when you lose a friend that wasn't vaccinated, and then you hear somebody say, well, they weren't vaccinated, so, you know, listen, fuck off. All right? I told you you're going to get cussing today, but I'm upset. I'm upset. And if you don't like the cussing, I won't do it again. We'll be back next week. It'll be clean Ernie next week. But when I'm emotional, this is what you get. Greg was all vaxxed up, but he was still afraid. He was still afraid. And I didn't get to see him for 2 years. And I'm not going to get to see him again for a long time. And that's why I do these damn shows. Because I want to hang out with you guys. That's why I started this whole thing 2 years ago, right? Because you guys are my friends too. You put me here on this golf course. So when I say, like on Friday, when I was in Vegas, when I say, man, I'm tired, I really need to lie down and take a nap, you know, it's been crazy, I'm exhausted, screw it, I'm going to do a show. Because I want to see everybody. This is why. And this is the part that a lot of people don't like. And this is where I've said earlier, the disclaimer, not just for the cussing. But maybe that gets knocked off of Facebook or something. I don't know. Maybe I get banned or something. Because I don't usually do that. Do not let something that is a statistical anomaly keep you from the friends that you really care about. Don't do it. I don't give a shit what those people are telling you. The scientists lie to us. The politicians lie to us. Both sides, right and left. This is not Republican and Democrat, because they all say the same things. We were lied. We were lied to with the Patriot Act. We were lied to with the propaganda. We were literally told by leaders last year that if you get the shot, you will not get COVID. Well, I am so sorry. I've had it twice since I've had the jab. You cannot trust them. This is not Conspiracy Corner with Ernie. This is Live Your Life Corner with Ernie. If you have towed the line and you followed the numbers, you played the odds, then live your damn life. And don't let it keep you from the people that you love the most. Greg didn't die from COVID. He died in the shower from some pulmonary event or a heart attack or something. I don't even know all the details yet. Greg designed my first cover for me because when I first started writing, it started like 14 years ago. When I published for the first time, I was doing my own covers, and I wrote this story called The Dream Writer. And I said, Greg, I want a cover that's kind of Harry Potter-esque for it. And he was a fantastic artist. He could do comics. He was really into comics. He was really into comic heroes, sci-fi. Super creative guy, super deep. When he would come over to hang out, we didn't watch movies. If we were just sitting out on the porch talking, it was a 4-hour event. And you guys know I can talk a lot. You know I can talk a lot. Because I like to entertain you. It's not because I think I know everything. I just like to entertain you. But Greg filled my intellectual well every single time I talked to him. When he left, I felt smarter. I'm not mad at Greg. I'm not mad that he shut himself off from society because he was afraid of this bug. A lot of people did that. My favorite history teacher did that. He's still doing it. He's still shut off. Can't get him out. He's like quintuple vaxxed, and I still can't get him out of his house to come hang out and talk about history with me. And I don't want that to happen to any of you guys. And I don't want it to happen to any of your friends, because I know that we're all good here. But I also know I'm not your best friend in the world. You've got people in your circle, right? You got people that are your favorite folks that are in your world that you see, or that at least you used to see all the time. But if you're one of those folks, now maybe you're somebody who's at risk, right? Maybe you're a person who's at risk. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm telling you how to not live your life. Don't live in fear. You know, I sit here and talk about conspiracies, and I don't get into too many conspiracies with you guys because, that gets labeled. 20 years ago, I was a left-wing conspiracy theorist. Now I'm a right-wing conspiracy theorist. They're all the same conspiracies. Just depends on who's in control of the narrative, right? Conspiracies don't pick sides, left or right. Mine certainly don't. But I'm going to miss him. I didn't want this to be like a Debbie Downer show, and I'll pick up the tempo here in a second, but I just had to say this. I had the burden to say it. I had the burden to cuss. I dropped the F word, and I don't even do that, but I know my mom doesn't watch this show, so it'll be all right. And if you're offended by that, don't worry. I won't do it again in the future, well, unless I'm hammered, and then I can't really control that. But no, I can. I can still control it. But it really it upsets me. It pisses me off. Because I'm not going to get to hang out with him again for a while. And that sucks. But it reaffirms why it's important that I do these shows every week. You know, I had a couple weeks off here and there where I'm out of town. I couldn't do it, right? But this is why. This is why I started it over 2 years ago, right? So that we stay connected and we stay in touch with each other. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Don't live in fear, kids. Don't miss out. Don't miss out because you're afraid of something. Unless it's heights, then you should probably be careful around cliff edges and tall buildings. But venomous snakes. A healthy dose of fear is one thing. Keeps us alive. There, I'm back. I'm smiling and telling jokes again. There we go. Anyway, thank you for listening. I didn't want to. This is, I speak from the heart. I don't, it's funny because people are like, Ernie's such a BSer. Guilty as charged. 100% I am. But I don't lie. I'll BS with you, but I don't lie. I'm honest. And this is where I am right now. I mean, I hadn't seen Megan since I left for Vegas on Wednesday, and I guess I found out on Thursday. And so we, I just, and when I got in last night, it was 12:30. They were all asleep, and so I still didn't have any details, and I didn't want the details while I was out there because I knew I couldn't handle it, and I just had to focus on wedding stuff and the authors that I was with and all that. So let me say good morning to the comments, okay? Let's do this. Jonathan, Coffee Nation, and Megan, and Allison, and Heather, and Kat. Yeah, there's a lot of birds. Birds are chirping. Coming back from Vegas, and Dr. Kelly, if you're on the show, I haven't seen your comments yet. If you might be on here, but you folks that live out west, my girl Lisa Gardina, my Dr. Kelly's, I'm gonna say, when I stepped out of the Atlanta airport last night, I realized the senses that are absent in the desert. The first being smell. When I stepped out of the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport last night at, I don't know, whatever time it was, 9:45, the plane was late. I sucked in the air and I thought, this is going to be Atlanta, airport exhaust, smell of rubber and asphalt. No. Overwhelmingly, it smelled green. Like it smelled like the forest and trees and honeysuckle. And that's why we call Atlanta the city in the forest, right? Like downtown doesn't look like a forest, but once you're outside of downtown proper, even still inside the perimeter, you just look and there's lights here and there, but it's the city in the forest. It's one of the most amazing cities in the world, Atlanta is. I love Atlanta. And it's only getting better. Hip hop capital. More movies filmed there now than in LA. Almost more shows. It's coming. Love it. But I noticed that distinctly. The smells of nature as opposed to the smell of just nothing. Because it's all rocks and dirt. That said, I really love Las Vegas. I love visiting there. But when I come back home, good grief. I'm surrounded by all this spectacular, beautiful greenery until winter comes and then it's brown for 4 months. Morning, Michelle. Good morning, Cheryl and Deborah and Keith. Yeah, my propane tanks are multiplying. Yeah, it's funny. You're right. I got those in the shot, don't I? Here, let's fix that. There you go. That's a better light angle anyway. It keeps one side of my face a little darker than the other. Is that better? But you still get the big green egg in the background. Yeah, propane tanks are nice to have, right? Here's why I have them. because when we had the tornadoes 2 years ago, like the nation goes into 2-week lockdown, right? And the first week we get tornadoes flying right over my house, and so I was running our generator on propane, and our generator's like, it could maybe power a camper. I mean, it's not going to power a whole house, but it powered heaters, little heaters for us. We have a gas fireplace. It was still cold in March, and we have and then I ran that generator all night long to keep the other heaters going, charge devices, all that stuff. We didn't have power for like a week, so we had natural gas though. So listen, I'm all for the environment. I'm all for less pollution and all that. But until we really optimize everything, and that's probably like 200 years from now, we're still going to need some fossil fuels, some of the cleaner ones, like natural gas. My wife just walked up to the door completely naked. That's where I live. And she's laughing the whole time. She knew it would distract me. This is a family show. Notice how I kept my cool? Unfazable, guys. You can't phase me. You can shock me, but I won't let you see it. I'm a poker face. Oh, I have poker stories from the other night, too. I played poker for the first time in years. It's good. Man, I sat down at that table. It was like riding a bike. Oh, my goodness. I've got to get to these comments. It's cold in Washington State, Linda Myers. I'm sorry. Keith Reed with it. Thanks for the hashtag. Good morning. Morning, General. Thank you, Cheryl. What's up, Ray? Yeah. Thank you, Keith. Yeah. I appreciate it. No, you guys are sweet. Thank you for the condolences. I appreciate it. Morning, Laura. No, thank you, Allison. You guys are so sweet. I know. I don't like to start. You come here for silliness, and most of the time, but it was something that I had to say it because I don't want any of you to have a friend like that you wish you could have spent more time with, and maybe it's a cliche thing to talk about, but it's certainly not politically driven. It's I don't you guys know me. I don't do that. Like I said, I'm happy to attack both sides. Always. Always have been, always will be. Because I know the truth. There are no sides. There are two sides. There's us and them. And it's always going to be that way. Unless you believe at some point in history that the people with all the money and power decided, hey, you know what? Screw this. Let's let the commoners decide what we should do. Really? I found some great oceanfront land in Nevada for you if you buy that. Play in the dirt. That's right. No regrets. That's right. Did you see that commercial? What was it? They get the tattoo. It says no regrets. Yeah, thanks, Jonathan, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Oh no, it just skipped all the comments again. I hate it when it does that. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate that, Megan. Cheryl. Yeah, live it with a capital L. Sometimes the F word is the best expression in the American language. And, I probably tend to use it too much in my personal life just because I like it. But I think that, professionally, it's not necessary. It's not necessary in stories. It's not necessary. There are moments where it really it is the hammer that drives the nail sometimes, and that's why I used it just then. Notice I haven't said it again. So it's like a nuclear weapon. You know, you want to start getting notifications. I have to scroll up and get rid of. It's like the nuclear weapon where both people turn their keys. You know, and boom. So now you're back. Thank you, cousin Margot. Yeah, no, thank you, Cheryl. I do feel safe to sell out, to share my feelings with you. With the green comes the pollen, Tracy. That's right. Yeah, I'm not afraid of the pollen anymore because Daddy gets shots for that. Daddy gets shots for the pollen. There's a lot of golfers out there right now, and they're hurrying. That gal is like, she is on a mission. It's a ladies tournament maybe. It's ladies night and the feeling's right. It's ladies night. Oh, what a night. What a night. I don't know that song that well. I'm not gonna sing it anymore. Yeah, it's a beautiful day even up north, Terry said. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, Cheryl. You know, like if I could have my choice, it would probably be wood burning. Is it a little more of a pain? Yeah, but you get that crackle, you get that smell. You know, you get these people don't even realize that there's a celebrity in their midst trying to do a show. You're on a golf course. It should sound like a library. I don't really care. You should hear the guys I play with. You can hear. If we've got like 3 groups, you can hear one of the guys 2 groups ahead. Like he'll be 2 holes ahead. You can hear him. Oh, Willie Styles. No. I'm still doing the show, baby. Yeah. My sunglasses are highly reflective. That's right. Yeah. What else can you see, Harvey? Can you see the you know, the house? Can you see the could you see my wife in the door? That's funny if you could. Ooh, that's really funny if you could. Joke's on her, isn't it? Oh, now I don't usually go back and watch my own shows. I don't even read my own books. I did the other day because I'm trying to figure out who to get to narrate Gideon Wolf, right? Because John's doing Derek. John's doing Dak Harper. He's doing Sean Wyatt, and he's doing like 50 other authors. I didn't have time, so I'm getting a new voice, I think, for Gideon Wolf. John, if you're watching this, it's nothing against you. We got to get these audiobooks out fast. So I was actually reading over it just to see, because I know I can't do the narration, because I'll be reading, it'll be like, your sunglasses are highly reflective. So then I'd have to re-record it. It would take me 6 years to get one book done, probably. I don't know. So but yeah, I was reading through the first chapter of Gideon Wolf, and I found a typo. Me. Do you know how many eyeballs have read that book already and missed that one? Didn't email me about it? I'm not the one to find typos, but I found one. I was like, hey, I won. What did I win? Oh, Harvey, I'm still cracking up. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. That happened around minute 18, 19. Golly, has it been 30 minutes already? I'm gonna give you an extra 5 minutes today. Oh, you're so generous. Wow, he really thinks a lot of himself, doesn't he? That's not what I heard. I heard he's just trying to be nice. Did you par it? I don't either, and I live on this hole. They have no idea who I am. Some of them know. Now, one of them's walking up the green. She's walking up the hill doing a little shimmy. Like she just might have drained a big putt or something. I don't know. I don't know why the director is sitting there watching him. That's a little weird that he's just, it's not a tournament. Maybe it is a tournament. They're members. Anyway. Whatever. All right, let's see. What coffee are we drinking? Today's coffee at Coffee Nation is brought to you proudly by Savannah, Georgia's very own Perk. That's right, Paul. Paul loves Perk. He's a Savannah guy. I know I've been drinking a lot of Perk lately because I'm going to be honest, I've been a little lazy in my purchasing. I just go to Whole Foods and I'm like, oh, there's Perk again. Well, I know it's good. I'll take it. But I do order, Black Rifle. I ordered Phil's like 2 weeks ago, but they're based in California, and we have shipping issues. I know that. But as far as I know, Phil's didn't shut down during COVID or whatever. So should arrive, I guess, sometime soon. But I'm going to get some prehistoric Perk locally because y'all keep reminding me about that one. And that's a real good local roastery. They didn't have Mad Priest last time or whatever there, so I'm still on the Perk. Thank you for asking me. Yeah, I don't use it in any of my books. There's not a single swear word. I did put one in the new Dak Harper book. There's a cuss word in the new Dak Harper book, but it's half-ass. And honestly, there are other ways to describe half-assing something, but those ways don't seem right. They just don't seem correct to me. So half-assed was the right word to use. So, look, we lost 8,000 viewers because I was talking about golf. Hypnotizing watching a fire. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love watching a fire. In fact, some of my best meditations are sitting there in front of a fire just staring at it. Jim Beaver. Why do I know that name? I know that name. There's no way I'm getting Luke Daniels. That guy, you know what he charges per finished hour? Golly, he's the best. I mean, Luke's amazing. No offense. John's the best. John Perhala's the best. And I actually do believe that. I believe that John Perhala is one of the best narrators in the world. And there are many authors that agree. My boy Terry Maggart up in Portland, Tennessee. If you haven't read Terry's stuff, he's a good writer too. Backyard Starship. Phenomenal concept. Co-written with J.N. Chaney. Also phenomenal sci-fi writer. He's the one that got married. Me and Terry were hanging out. Met Terry. That's where I met Terry. I hadn't met him until this week. South Florida guy, moved to Portland, Tennessee, and we were trying to get him to stay one extra day to hang out with us on Friday. He's like, I gotta fly back, and I'm like, why do you have to leave Vegas early? Nobody chooses to fly to Vegas for a day and then like you land on Wednesday, you stay Thursday, and go back Friday. Who does that? Terry Maggart. But to his credit, he had a legitimate excuse. He was like the feature attraction at the Middle Tennessee Strawberry Festival. Yeah, he left Vegas to be like the MC or something, or the Grand Marshal of the Middle Tennessee Strawberry Festival. I'm like, but you could hang out here with me and Joe in Vegas. What's the problem here? So we gave him a hard time. I'll tell you what, you'll never meet a nicer person than Terry Maggart. And on top of it, good grief. I sat down at the coffee table. We were having coffee with him and Joe, my friend Joe. And we're having coffee at this little place there in the casino. And he sits down. I meet him for the first time, and or maybe it was for dinner, whatever it was. And within 15 seconds, I said, just once, I would like to be the smartest person at the table. Just once. And I said, you know what? I was. Because I was here first waiting on you two guys to show up. So for a few minutes, I was the smartest person at the table because I was alone. But man, what a brilliant mind. He's been a history professor. You know, he's done all sorts of crazy, incredible things. Run businesses. Just a fantastically interesting person, and what a writer. There's probably a little bit of foul language in his stories because those guys, you know, they write. Some of them write military sci-fi. Some of them are writing space opera. Some of them are doing some of that. So there's some of that in there. But I tell you what, if you liked the movie The Last Starfighter and Clash of the Titans, the original one, boy, this is the book for you. Backyard Starship. I mean, this story is those two things. And as a kid from the 80s, I loved Last Starfighter. It was phenomenal. And this book hooked me from the very beginning. But there's a page in the second chapter maybe where he describes this flight around the world. Appropriate, an airplane's flying over. Atlanta to Chattanooga flight path is directly over my house. I mean, it's 20-minute flight, 25-minute flight. This passage of his description of flying around the earth is nothing but incredible. His usage of actionable verbs is impeccable. And Terry is just a fantastic author. Met some other great authors too out there. Molly Lerma was there, and that's the first time I've met Molly. And she's getting into that sci-fi universe. She wrote like a spin-off from one of those Cheney universes, and delightful young woman. I found out that she and I have so much in common. She's a Michigander like you, Ray. I'm piling up the Michigan friends right now, apparently. Most of my Michigan friends moved here. And now they wear like Tennessee Vols stuff. It's pretty funny. Well, some of them do. The smart ones do. I'm just kidding, Ray. So yeah, it was cool though. We had a good time. No, Allison, yeah. So I saw your message, and so I forgot to download it onto my iPad before I left the hotel. And I wasn't going to use my data to download it. So, I mean, I have unlimited data, but when unlimited data means that once you hit that threshold, they throttle it down to low data mode. And then, I've got like 2 more weeks left in this month and want to like kill it all in the first half. So I ended up watching Deadpool 2 again because I had that on my iPad already downloaded. You want to talk about foul language? If you are easily offended, do not watch Deadpool 2. If you are not easily offended, you still will be. But I mean, that's cool. I like to watch that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean I live that way. I just like to watch it. The Last Starfighter, I know. Well, so there you go, Deborah. So like, give it a look. Give a look to Backyard Starship, because I'm going to tell you right now, those guys are, Chris Kennedy, there's a few others. Jason Onspach was there at the wedding he's the Galaxy's Edge guy, one of the Galaxy's Edge guys. Galaxy's Edge is another heavy hitting series in sci-fi. All wonderful people. I was really happy to meet them all. Um, and I don't tell you guys to check out books. And I mean, I know we're archaeological thriller people or whatever, but we all read a little bit of something, right? Um, but yeah, Hans Spock was there. Really nice dude. Of course, Jeff Cheney getting married, Jan Cheney. His ideas are spectacular, and so yeah, any of those people definitely worth a look. They're not just great people; they're good writers. Were there some people there that are not nice people? Yeah, you don't hear me mention their names. So this is how you can trust me. If there are not nice people, I don't recommend them. He sounds like he's judging. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't judge people. I don't say they're good or they're bad. But I will say this is the vibe I get from this person. I'm not going to recommend them. So sounds like he's judging. I did have a guy sit at a table. No chance he's watching this show. But if he is, good. We're talking about the stock market, right? And I told all my buddies in January. I said, listen, if you're in index funds, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not legal financial advice. But and I don't own any stocks, but I like to trade the indices. It's a hobby of mine. And I said, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I see a pattern here that is massively bearish. And as I look through the history of the charts, this pattern has never formed in such a large way. I said by April, NASDAQ and the Dow will lose 25 to 30%. And that's just the beginning. Well, we've lost about 35 to 40% of the top we hit at the end of December, right? And this is May. And there's still a little more coming, a lot more coming. So I'm talking to my buddy Joe about this. And he says, you should tell him your thoughts about this. This guy's a wealth manager, right? Young guy. And he's been in the business like 10 years. And I said, no, man, he's a fundamentals guy. I don't want to talk to him about that stuff. My angle was, this guy has been in the business for 10 years and knows way more about economic stuff and financial stuff than I do. That was what I was saying. I'm not going to talk to this guy about this. He's a fundamentals guy. He knows what. I couldn't get the part out where I wanted to say he knows. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know, right? All I look at is charts. I just base it purely on charts. He knows all the particulars inside and out. Couldn't get that out because he had instantly blew me off. And he's like, and I was like, what? And he goes, I don't like being prejudged. And it's like, what? You prejudged me. It's like, I was prejudging you in a good way. No, I'm sorry if I offended you. And he goes, well, you did offend me. And I was like, if you'd let me finish a sentence, you'd realize I was actually kissing your hindquarters, but okay. Whatever. And then I found out, so we're sitting at this table, we'll first sit down. Later on, I found out this little gem. I'm sitting there, and I have never met these people. You got Cece Akike, who writes superhero fiction. Really smart guy. Really neat guy who writes superhero fiction. His name's Charles, but he goes by, I think it's Cece Akike. I bought one of his books while I was sitting there at the table. Bought it on Kindle. I haven't started it yet. But I'm sitting there with him, sitting there with the other people. But I'm being introduced to 5 different people, right? Now, I try to remember names. I'm not good at it. If I meet you in person and like I see you again 6 months later, all I have is this profile pic because the first meeting was a one-time thing. It's going to be hard unless we really spend a lot of time together. It's just how my brain is. I need to spend a lot of time with somebody before the face name connection happens. Or I use this trick where I'm very deliberate. I will say Steve, Joe, Jim, Cheryl, Carrie, Katie. Jim, Steve, Joe, Carol, Cheryl, Katie. And then I will reverse it. I will mix it up and go in random order to make sure that I've imprinted the name and the faces into my mind. Well, this guy that I apparently was about to offend because I hadn't done it yet, I was just meeting him. My buddy next to me goes, "Did you see how pissed off he got that you were doing that?" I did it like 3 times. I do like 3 or 4 times just so I can remember. And the other people are laughing at me, right? This guy's getting annoyed. I'm like, you need to lighten up, man. I'm just trying to be polite and remember your name. But if you'd like me to forget you, that's very easy to do. Except that he's made a bad impression, so I'll never forget his name now. Always make an impression, right? Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. Some people are really really sensitive to the strangest things. If you're watching this show, young man, because like at some point I was like, man, I'm sorry if I offended you. Like, apology accepted. Like, I don't really care if it's accepted. Honestly, I'm never gonna see you again. I know who's not going to be managing my wealth. Might be him. Who knows? This is the thing. This is what I've learned. And I told my buddy Joe this. Because I said, as rude as it was, as rudely as I was treated, I am a forgiving person, right? I'm a water under the bridge kind of guy. There have been instances at football games where people behind me were ready to throw fists at me, like drunk people, just like ready to go off because I am a smart ass, right? Like there's another cuss word for it. I'm a smart aleck, and that's my mouth gets me, gets me in trouble sometimes. It's always playful. It's always for humor, but it's not always taken that way. This guy's like furious, wants to, but I let it go. He taps me on the shoulder 10 minutes after this interaction. And he's like, "Listen, man, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right." Because what happened was at Falcons games in our section, we would always stand the whole game. We didn't sit down. Not on defense anyway. Not that our defense plays. But he's this Philadelphia Eagles fan. He's like, "You mind sitting down? Trying to see the game, man. I can't see the game." And I turned around and I said to him, this wasn't even me being a smart aleck. I said, "You do realize you're in my house. Could you imagine the beating I would get if I tapped an Eagles fan on the shoulder in Philadelphia and asked them to sit down because I couldn't see the game? I would be a stain on that stadium right now. And you Eagles fans watching know exactly what I'm talking about." So I said this to this guy. I said, "Could you imagine if I said that in your ballpark to some of your fans?" And he got quiet for a minute. And 10 minutes later, he taps me on the shoulder. Meanwhile, my buddy wants me to just pummel him, right? I don't get into fights because I don't want to go to jail. Do I have an anger issue? Yeah, sometimes. But I don't want to fight anybody. I'd rather us all have a good time. But my buddy wants me to beat his tail. Like, he wants me to just like jump over the seats and just blow Dak Harper this guy, right? Guy taps me on the shoulder. He's like, man, I said, yeah. He goes, man, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. You're so right. This is your house. You guys do things how you want to do it. It's my birthday, and I wanted to get to see the Eagles on the road. And I said, dude, happy birthday. And I said, no problem. No need to apologize. I do appreciate it, but we're good. We're good. It's all fine, man. He goes, and you're right. If you did that in Philly, you'd get the crap beat out of you. I said, I know. I said, if I ever go to a Falcons game in Philly, I'm wearing neutral colors. I'm wearing gray. I'm not wearing anything affiliated with Atlanta or any other team. I might even wear an Eagles hat and if the Falcons score, I'll be like, oh, come on, defense. Why did you? But on the inside, I'll be like, yes. But I'm a water under the bridge kind of guy. I mean, my buddy was all mad at me because I forgave this guy. Now, he was belligerently drunk, so my friend and I actually were in an argument because I forgave this guy. I'm like, what's your problem? I think later on he realized he was being ridiculous, but I ended up buying the guy a beer. Told him happy, went down. I got him a beer, happy birthday beer, and all was good. All was good. I'm a water on it. So this guy that I met in Vegas, at some point in his life, when he realizes, wow, I was a little sensitive and kind of a jerk. This guy's actually a nice person, because I'm a nice person to a fault sometimes. And if he says, man, listen, I'm sorry how I behaved, I'll say to him the same thing. You don't need to apologize. We're good. Let's talk wealth management. And I'll be happy to talk to him about it. So never say never. But there's the stories from the weekends, everybody. The birds sound lovely. Oh, you're fine. No. You're fine, Cheryl. Don't you worry about. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Buddy, I called you out earlier. No, I called you out before you arrived. I knew you were here before you were here, because I have tapped into the quantum universe. I knew you would be there. I was actually talking about you this weekend, Paul, and Savannah, Georgia, to some people out there in New Orleans. Let that sink in. Yeah, I mean, I am a smart aleck. Like I had this New Orleans Saints fan chirping at me one time before a game, and we hate each other. Now, if you want to ask what group, like, Ernie's not a hateful person. Ernie's a kind, loving person that sometimes refers to himself in the third person. I am a kind, loving person, but I apologize to you Saints fans. Tiana, I know, a good friend, Tiana, who, thank you, by the way, Tiana and Scott, for taking me out to a lovely dinner on Fremont Street in Las Vegas on Wednesday night. That was wonderful. And to the end of the prop museum. The prop museum with all the movie props was amazing. But we do have a bitter rivalry with the New Orleans Saints in Atlanta. And I was walking into a game, and these four yahoos are drinking beer on the corner, and they were all smaller than me. I'm only 6 feet tall, so I'm never afraid of someone who is my body type and smaller than me. So I'm not trying to start a fight, but these guys are talking trash to every Falcons fan that walks by, yelling at us, being belligerent. So I said something. Boy, they immediately, all four of them, up in my face. Meanwhile, like a circle of red jerseys starts forming around all of us, right? So I'm not worried because there's like 50 Falcons fans that have my back, right? These guys, these 4 are specifically in my face, spitting in my face while they're talking to me. This is, I don't know, 12 years ago. Don't you ever, and I'm just standing there and I'm taking it and I'm taking it and I'm taking it. And I said to one of them, I said, look, I'm not going to hit you first, but if you hit me, it will be the last action you remember this day, because you will wake up in a jail cell in Fulton County. Now, I don't want to go to Fulton County, because if I hit you back, that's where I'm going too. And I don't want to go to jail. And I hadn't been in a fight in so long, but I grew up learning how to fight, right? Boxing. So I'm not really afraid of there's people I look at and I'm like, boy, I could never do anything. Yeah, I'd be like a fly to that bull. But these 4, no. But there was one, the smallest of them. He's holding a beer that's bigger than him. And he's the loudest of them all. And he's spitting and talking and slurring. And I looked down at him and I said, hold on a sec. I looked at my watch. I mean, I made a show of it. I looked at my watch and I said, I'm so sorry. Shouldn't you be at the North Pole making toys right now? It's getting close to your deadline. Oh, you think you're so fucking funny, man? Oh, he was ready to go. Didn't throw a fist because he knew better. Because I would have done one of those things where you just hold their head and then they're swinging and they're not hitting anything. That was probably one of my greatest in-moment taunts of all time. Meanwhile, all these like Falcons fans are laughing. They're just dying laughing at these guys. And then one of my buddies grabs the back of my jersey, starts pulling me away. And it's like, guys, enjoy the game. For now, none of us are going to jail. And that's a win. Don't go to jail. And we left. That was it. But sometimes this mouth gets me in trouble. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, we've done an hour. This is normally only a 30-minute show. So they threw snowballs, I know, at Santa Claus with batteries packed in them. I know Deborah's an Eagles fan. I'm well aware of it. That's why I was calling it out. Yep. Birds of prey. Oh, it's getting bright right here. It's so hot right now. Arguing over game, Falcons, Eagles, feathers flying. That's right, Ray. That's right. All right, guys, listen, I really appreciate y'all listening to my first 15 minutes of sadness on this show, because normally I don't like to do that, but it's important to me. And, you live your life how you want to live it, but, don't let external forces make you afraid of seeing the people that you care about and living the way that you want to live. And because that's not living, that's surviving, right? And you do you, but I certainly regret not getting to see my friend 5, 6, 17 more times over the last few years, and hanging out with him and absorbing the wonder that was Greg DeSico. And truly a magnificent human being, a visionary, an artist, a genius. I mean, he was a chemist, a genius. And the world has lost a bright spot, and I hate that. But Christian, atheist, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever you believe, I'm a Christian. All of us are wrong about something in what we believe, and I believe that. And I believe that that's the one thing that I believe that's right, is that we're all wrong about something. And when we wake up and we see all our old friends again, we'll be like, wait, this is not what I thought it was supposed to be. And the atheist will say, I thought there was nothing. And the Buddhist will say, I thought it was supposed to be, it's something else. But I hold on to that. So I hold on to there's got to be something else in the quantum. So while I'm sad for now, it'll be all right. But I love you guys. I look forward to seeing y'all again soon. And autocorrect, yeah. But I love you guys, man. And thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for putting me here where I am. I appreciate you. Talk to you soon. If you did the contest for the Gideon Wolf thing, if you did that contest, I'm going to send out an email. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow. I said I was going to do it today, but today's my brother-in-law's birthday, so we got stuff going on. So I'm going to try to send that out. If you supported the contest, then you get the book for free, the Kindle, EPUB, whatever version you want. I'll try to send that out tomorrow, the book funnel link, okay? And so there you go. That's it, guys. I will see you on Friday. Looking forward to the launch here in a couple of weeks. Alden McCaw is going to be down here, I believe, with his crew. The winner of the contest. I'm excited to meet him in person. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I will see you guys on the next show. Thanks for letting me ramble.